Last year, I became a lot more materialistic than I would like to admit. I finally began to become financially stable, and coupled with the pandemic, I ended up bringing a lot more things into my home than I originally would have liked to. This week, however, I stumbled across a couple of videos from Dee Dee and Malama Life that talked about a low buy year, or a minimalist's approach to a low buy year, and their reasons were very, very different, but they definitely inspired me to look at what I have, look at the year ahead, and decide what I really want to get out of it. This really made me stop and think about whether I am creating more waste than usual, whether I am taking for granted the privilege that I have of buying things, and just made me take a greater look at what I do value in life. Of course, with the pandemic, it's totally understandable if you brought more things into your life, as I did, because we couldn't go out, and still many of us can't, especially if you're in the national lockdown in the UK like I am currently. But this year I am committing to a low buy year, which is why I am basically sharing with you some things that I am not going to be buying this year and my approach to this in general. I want to become a little bit more minimalist and therefore value my belongings a hell of a lot more, and save money for my biggest life plan yet. So instead of purchasing more, I want to purchase less. I want to give back more to my community and spend that money on both mine and our collective future, instead of useless shit that's just going to sit in my house, not being valued and just taken for granted. If you are new here and you like things, sustainability, seasonal eating, etc. and much more, then hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss another video. Okay, grab a cup of tea, coffee, whatever your poison is, and let's just get straight into this video. I'm just going to quickly run through my main reason for doing a low buy year, but if you just can't be asked to watch that, then hit the timestamps and you can just move on. So I really want to get my spending habits under control, because it's just not like me to be this materialistic, and also I'm just wasting money. I'm taking for granted the fact that I have some disposable income. But also my biggest life plan yet is my boyfriend and I, we were planning on moving to live together last year, but obviously that didn't happen because of the pandemic. So this year we need to save quite a bit of money, because one of us has to get a visa, or both of us have to get a visa. All the associated costs with moving, shipping, travel, like it is bloody expensive. So this means all unnecessary costs are being cut, and I'll be spending a lot more time learning about the psychology of what brings real meaning and value to our life, and the effect of constantly wanting more, how that has an effect on our brains. You can probably tell that I am a psychology nerd and I love understanding behavioral design, so this is a really good way for me to understand my habits better and to therefore try and change them and improve them to be something that's slightly different. I don't believe in breaking habits, I simply believe in untangling them to make them work for us rather than seeing things as bad. So spending is definitely not something that I am terrible at. I definitely, as someone who tries to live more sustainably, I don't buy a lot of shit, I just don't. But there are some things that could definitely improve in my life. The first one is no new camera equipment for work or outside work, but I don't really ever buy it for outside work. I've become really expectant. Like, I've become the kind of person that believes I need to upgrade my cameras and stuff like that when the time is right. But what I'm doing is missing the value in the stuff that I already own, in the cameras I've already dedicated hours of research into understanding is best for me and for my approach to work. I'm missing the joy of creation for the latest gadget or ability to film in 120 frames per second. I want to become a master of my craft, not adept at adapting to equipment in the hope that that's what's been holding me and my content back. It's just such a lazy way to try and improve my content, and it's actually quite arrogant to not see that it's me and not see that it's my problem, that I need to work on my craft, not, oh, this new camera is going to make my content suddenly just like wow everyone that watches it. Absolutely not. So all that said, I will not be purchasing any new cameras, any camera equipment, like anything, unless something actually breaks beyond repair and I cannot get it repaired. And even then I buy everything secondhand. But still. The next thing is shoes. Now I'm going to be honest with you, okay? As someone who runs, who does CrossFit, who goes hiking a lot, who just goes on general walks, who does a lot of fitness related things, the fitness industry really makes you think that you need a different shoe for absolutely everything. I really got into the idea that I pronated, and I really got into the idea of my shins were hurting because my shoes weren't right, all this kind of stuff, which in many cases is true. But in my case, Absolutely not. And I convinced myself that I needed these special shoes or these different kinds of shoes when really I just needed to actually get some rehab on my shins and strengthen the muscles rather than specifically looking at the shoes. Now, of course, it's not right for everyone. You know, if you pronate or the other one, go see a podiatrist. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me. In this situation. For someone who spends the majority of their day in their slippers, it's kind of ridiculous to think about considering bringing new pairs of shoes into my life when I have some shoes waiting to be worn, sitting there being like, when you go out into the world again, I'm here, I'm waiting. I got you. I got your feet, okay? I have all the shoes I could possibly need for every activity I could possibly need. I have my rain boots, I have my hiking boots, I've got my trainers for running, I've got my trainers for CrossFit, I've got my smarter shoes for when I actually want to pretend like I do other things than fitness. So no shoes, no trainers, no nothing, no high heels. I don't even like high heels, and it's not because I'm already a very long person. It is just simply because they're not comfortable. My feet don't react nicely to them and I don't look good in them. Just look like a clown. The next thing is no new clothes, because who am I kidding? I wear the same things in my videos. I wear the same things in my Instagram posts. I wear the same things in daily life, and when I do go back out into the world, I'm still gonna wear those same things. Maybe a little bit less tracksuit bottomy and a little bit smarter, but then at the same time, the whole pandemic has made me really think, why am I trying to fit into clothes? Like, I'm never going to be a size 6. I'm never going to be 5'3". Why am I trying to fit into clothes that are trendy when I don't even appreciate the clothes that I already have that actually fit my body shape, my height, and the size that I actually am? Lockdown has really drummed this home for me, and I am completely content wearing the same thing every day. Don't underestimate repeating outfits. And if there is something that genuinely comes up that I need, I'll look for it secondhand first before I even consider buying it first. Also, the little caveat to the no new clothes, I had to have a special section for this, guys. No new grey jumpers. We know my obsession. I'm even wearing a grey t-shirt right now, and I love how you have kindly labelled my thrifted jumper with the Pepsi logo my Pepsi jumper. Just reminds me that I really need to cover that with a patch. But I mean, how many grey jumpers can one person need? I feel like my grey jumper collection is kind of I don't know, a metaphor for the way that I live my life, especially when it comes to things like even with cameras, which is why I put an end to this, because you can never find the perfect item, or if you can, we don't value it when we actually do find it. We search for another item that's going to be better, and that's kind of how I feel about my grey jumper collection. I love all of them equally. They have their different, you know, talents, they have their different moods, they have their different uses and practicalities, but at the end of the day, how many grey jumpers can one person need, you know? Okay, I've only got two more guys, because I don't buy that much anyway. That's the kind of point of this. I'm not someone who has like 50 things I'm not buying this year or 100 things I'm not buying this year, because I don't buy that much anyway. So the next two things are books and food items. So when I say books, don't worry guys, I am an avid reader. What I mean is I'm not going to be buying books that I think are expected of me or make me sound clever or interesting. This is something I have battled with throughout my entire sort of schooling and university career. I was constantly surrounded by high achievers, judgmental English lit students, and pushy teachers. It constantly felt like I was lagging behind and that I needed to work so much harder just to keep up with my peers. This feeling dragged on into my adult life and left me spending money on books that I thought I would read because everyone's saying, oh, this is what clever people read, this is going to make you sound really interesting, and all this kind of shit. And I just realized that this is such nonsense. I am who I am, and I'm going to read for me, and I'm going to read for you in terms of creating content that's easily digestible so that, you know, we can share knowledge that we're each individually able to gather. But at the end of the day, I'm reading for me, I'm reading to improve myself, I'm reading to become a better content creator, to become a better person. I'm reading for me, and I really hope that you guys do the same. In fact, if there's a book that you've read or felt like you needed to read, or bought it but never read it because you thought that it would make you sound clever or interesting or was expected of you, please leave it in the comments below, because I have many, too many that I want to admit to, and I would love to hear yours, so don't feel so alone. Okay, the last thing is food items that I personally can make at home. So if you've been watching any of my food prep videos, you'll know that I've got into bread making. Still rubbish at it, but really enjoying the process. It takes me away from my phone, it becomes this meditative practice, and as Cal Newport, who's one of my favourite authors now at the moment, wrote in Digital Minimalism, he talks about the importance of high quality leisure time and states clearly that this hobby should be something that you use your hands to do, should be away from any kind of screens, and I guess gets you into flow. And this is definitely how bread feels for me. I'm really concentrating on understanding how to like knead things properly, how to let things rise properly, all of these different little aspects, and I'm just completely focused and absorbed into it, that it's just more than something I don't buy anymore. It's, yeah, you know? I mean, other things that I don't buy anymore are things like plant milk and like hummus and pesto and all these kind of things that I make myself. But this is singular to me because I have, you know, the time, or I put aside one day, half a day a week on a Sunday or something to like make all of this stuff. So things that you don't buy is going to be completely different. And the most important thing that I actually heard in Hidden Brain today, which is a wonderful psychology based podcast. I think he interviewed someone on stoicism. I'm still not quite sold on stoicism, but it's an interesting thing to dive into. Well, his guest talked about the most important thing to do is to do what you can with what you have available to you where you are. So that's important. I guess another thing I'm not buying is takeaways, but that's not really a choice. I'm currently living in a very small village where there are no options, and if I want to get to the nearest town, I have to walk an hour and then an hour back, so not really an option. So, but I guess it's doing wonders for my health and my wallet. So okay, so I mean, the main reason why I am embarking on a low buy year is just to give myself some agency. Living through a pandemic, you feel like, well, nothing's in your control. Especially now we're in a third national lockdown, which we have no idea where it's going to end. I want to save for a huge life event of, you know, living with my boyfriend, creating our little family and whatever. And as Just Jolie says, be a less shitty person. If you don't watch his channel, by the way, I really recommend it. He's just, yeah, he does more things, but he basically encompasses all the things that I'm interested in, like fitness, minimalism, living your life, enjoying your life, and just generally trying to be less shitty and better person, better to the environment, better to people around you, etc. So highly recommend. So my rules for my low buy year, obviously essentials like my rent, my bills, one weekly grocery shop, etc. Those are obviously all going to be things that I'm still going to buy. I'm not going to limit myself to like not be able to buy people birthday presents, especially because I can't see them probably. I want to be able to give them something. I'm very much going to be taking it as it goes, taking a measured approach and just trying to be better generally, spend less money, save money, be more minimalist, live the dream. Okay, that's enough for a rambly Thursday afternoon video. So if you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know things that you won't be buying this year or don't want to buy, or just anything in the comments. And I will see you very soon. And subscribe. Love you, bye.